Jesus, it's packed.
Yeah, go down the back there, so. Welcome to the Shnug with Richie and Lavin. Hello, and welcome to the Shnug podcast. My name is Richard Loftus.
And I'm Lavin.
This is a podcast from the west coast of Ireland where we interview people from all walks of life about their passions, their interests, their side hustles, and everything in between. How are you? What's the crack?
I'm great. How are you? How is yourself? In the nice weather, myself and Nash, a friend of ours, in about a week and a half, we caught about 100 mackerel.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, fishing off a Parkmore pier, which was fantastic. We did a little bit out Blackhead down in County Clare, and I went out on a sailboat with my buddy Tanifa, and we caught a few there as well. But it was nice. It was a nice season for catching mackerel, you know.
For those who don't know what Tangifa is from, he's a Kiwi, isn't it?
Yes.
And what's Tangifa?
What?
The nickname for his name is Paul, like, you know.
Yeah, but Tanifa is what we call him.
Yeah.
I guess it's a New Zealand either malevolent or benevolent, like guardian spirit of waters, I think.
Oh, right.
But I it can be either or. I think it could be. I don't know the mythology behind it, so I don't want to go too far into it. But we call him the Tanifa.
And how did he just come? Who started calling him that?
Our buddy Christian Cody started calling him the Tanifa. I think he watched. There was a video that was filmed in New Zealand, and there was a character in it, like a guy who started calling himself the Tanifa.
Okay.
And our buddy Christian Cody's like, it's Paul. We call him the Tanifa. And so we call him the Tanifa now. But Paul was like, yeah, Livin, you want to go out and catch a couple mackerel today? I was like, yeah, absolutely. That sounds fantastic. Let's do it. Went out in the sailboat, and by the time we got a load of fish with the broken rod. But the time when we came back into Kinvara Bay, the wind had died down. It took us 3 hours to get back in.
Oh, shit.
And the very last bit of the way, we had to, Tanifa had to oar the sailboat in. Oh, man.
He's a big boy, though. So
yeah.
He's probably well able
I
for
offered to help, but he's like, no, it's all right. I'll got it. It's fun.
But today, joined by head chef of the G Hotel, Dominique Majecki. Welcome, Dom. How are you?
Guys, not
How
too
you
bad.
doing, Dom?
You found the place all right?
Yeah, yeah, I did. Yeah, thanks to Google Maps.
So, you're the head chef of the G Hotel. You're our first culinary guest, so it's a slight departure for us now. But we'll see how we get on. But you're originally from Laval in northwest France. Is that correct?
It is, yeah. Place close to Brittany for the one that's want to try to put it on the map. Yeah.
Is it not? It's not in Britain, It's like
It's not. It's just on the edge. So Laval is kind of a department where I'm from. You have Brittany on one side. We're in the Pays de la Loire, and then just in the corner we're in Normandy as well. So it's kind of a nice melting pot of all the corners of France.
Would you have Breton in you yourself?
I'm close enough now.
Yeah,
my parents moved even closer to the line, so it's okay.
What you call, and correct me if I'm wrong, Majecki, that's Polish origin, is that correct?
It is, yeah. So my grandfather's family moved over during the war, so yeah, there was mines near where my parents live now at the moment, so they all moved to the mines. That's what they knew.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And so where did you start off with the cooking bug? I know, is it right? Your granduncle was a baker. Did he have an influence on you? Or?
Yeah. So in the family we have my grandfather was a baker. He passed away when I was very young.
Okay.
But all the family that was together was bakers. There were a few people in the industry, and they all stayed in touch with the family. So as we grew up, obviously my granduncle who passed away last year was a baker, and he was the biggest influence probably on me. And then because we're French, everybody cooks.
Yeah, of course.
So
it's not a stereotype. It's actually
no, it's
true,
not a stereotype. It's true. Now, is it dying a bit more nowadays? Maybe a little bit, because everything has evolved and cooking become a lot easier for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But the markets are still there. And I remember being young, and even now going home, the big thing is like, let's go to the market on a Tuesday and go to the market. There's a big market on the Saturday. There's actually 2 markets in the city where I'm from. So yeah, it's going. You pick your own vegetables. You know, you're gonna see the fish there on the stalls, and how can you not love or want to cook when you see all of this?
Oh, of
Yes.
course, yeah.
So you pick your own product, and you know the bugs come like this. You sit down on a Sunday or even on the Saturday, and the Saturday used to be like, you know, you're coming back from the market and you're gonna eat the stuff that you collected straight away from the market. That's easy to cook because Saturdays are busy. Wherever you go in the world, Saturdays is always busy. But the Sunday is really the chill out day
Okay.
where it's family, and especially in France, in my family, it was a big Sunday dinner. So everybody would go to my grandparents' farm, and everybody would cook. So
Oh, wow, that's great.
Granny would have been cooking on the stove there from the morning. You know, everybody comes along, but everybody comes along with something. So
Yeah.
you might have cooked something, or you'll bring the dessert to the table, or you'll bring something. So everybody gets involved. Yeah, it's great. And there were gardens when I grew up. So
Yeah.
you'd go into the garden in the summer and you pick the green peas, and you know, you preserve for the winter, and
Yeah.
it's really cool.
Like I like just doing my due diligence on this before. So Laval is kind of, would it be correct to say there's like a lot of woodland around? So there's like a lot of game and stuff as well.
There's a few woodlands, yeah. Games, yeah. I knew a few people hunting, more like small games
Yeah.
rather than the big ones.
Of course, yeah.
But a lot of rivers, so a lot of river fish. Not too far from the coast.
Yeah.
You're only a couple of hours from the coast. But you're in Brittany, so a lot of pigs, a lot of cows. One of the biggest dairy company is based in Laval.
Okay.
They are called Lactalis nowadays. They were beignets. They are, you know, all the products that you see, President, the cheese. And
Yeah.
the yogurt. Yeah, that's where it's based from.
Oh, okay.
So they grew massive, and they bought out a lot of like Roquefort and a lot of cheeses company over the years, and they have a lot of yogurt companies as well.
Yeah.
So massive dairy area.
To the uninitiated here now. So I suppose every region's cuisine is slightly different depending on where the produce comes from. Is that correct? Would you
It
say?
is, yeah.
Yeah. So would say that the northwest of France be vastly different what's being cooked in like the southeast and
Oh, completely, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. It's funny because Laval, because of where we're situated between Brittany, Normandy, so we have a little bit of everything. So you have the apples from Normandy, you know, a lot of pigs in Brittany as well. So our cooking is quite different from everywhere else as well,
Okay.
which is nice. But yeah, growing up, you've got cider, you've got Calvados, you've got, you know, your fresh water fish, you've got your sea fishes. It's a big melting pot, but it's really nice.
Yeah.
Then in the south, you'll be more, okay, I'm more cream and butter.
Yeah, okay.
You might notice. Food is good. But, you know, in the south, they are more olive oil, and they are more, you know, they have different fruits and veg.
Yeah.
Obviously, they have more sun. We'll say Brittany or Laval for more kind of Irish weather in the winter. We are more rainy, and
Yeah.
autumn is a proper autumn. Now, summer is a proper summer
Yeah.
compared to here.
Mm.
You know, we
Not
don't
like-
have Julember, we
not
have
like
July.
We have right now.
Yeah. So now saying this year was terrible. So, but yeah, we usually had a good summer. So we have a good season, and you've got more fruits and you've got more vegetables, and yeah.
So it wasn't a big surprise to the folks, say, when you said you wanted to pursue this as like a career. Or
yeah,
was it?
No, it wasn't. I always loved food, and we always had friends in the family with restaurants and stuff. So I was always intrigued and always wanted to know. You know, I remember at my communions when I was young, going into the kitchen just because it was one of Dad's friends and it was in his restaurant. I was like, yeah, I want to go in the kitchen.
Yeah.
And have a look while all the kids were probably playing outside.
Yeah.
I was like, who is he? Oh, he's the cummies. That's a crab. I was like, hold on, I'll grab the crab. Cummy's running away. Well, you know, like I think it was always in me at some point. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
And so you studied then, and so just get this out of the way. my French pronunciation is going to be horrendous all the way through this. So you
What did you do in school? You didn't do French?
I did German.
You did German.
I did German.
Wunderbar.
Yeah, wunderbar. Yeah, my fucking German is shite as
Yeah.
well, like, to be honest with you.
I was supposed to be doing Spanish, but I wasn't paying attention.
Did you do Spanish in Gort?
Wasn't paying attention, yeah. But everyone else is doing French, I guess.
Yeah.
Half the school is doing French, half is doing Spanish. But sure, I don't fucking...
I'm just terrible at languages, really,
Yeah.
to be honest with you.
No, English is easiest because I know it.
Yeah. So it was kind of you studied.
I studied in Laval. Yeah, there is
Yeah.
a couple of schools in Laval. I studied in Laval. Funny enough, I am now getting students from my old school to come on.
Oh,
the
really?
Erasmus.
Yeah.
What,
Yes,
what
I do.
style cooking are they teaching?
They're teaching cooking, waiters. To put it in a certain, it's a vocation
Yeah.
in France rather than here a lot. It could be just a summer job.
Of course.
Being
yeah.
a waiter, and there's nothing wrong with it. It brings money, and it's great to see loads of students getting involved. I think they develop a lot of skills as well, either being kitchen porter or being in the restaurant, working as a waiter or trying your hands as being a chef. You develop a lot of skills that you'll need for the rest of your life. There'll be social skills, or you might develop bad habits too, but look, that's fun as a story. But there is a lot of things that you develop while you're working in the industry. That in France, it's a vocation. You're going to build your career into being a waiter. You're going to start from the bottom, and you're trying to achieve, maybe it's working in a Michelin star restaurant, or maybe it's being manager of a hotel or manager of a restaurant.
Yeah.
That you don't seem to see as much on this side. Also because maybe in France, you start from a young age. You can start when you're 16.
Okay.
Here you start in the industry when you're going to university. So there's a big gap and a big difference between the two. Yeah.
So even when you were studying then, here we go again, Notre Dame de la Miséricorde.
Yeah.
Pronounce that correctly for everybody.
It was Notre Dame de la Miséricorde. Yeah, it's now
that's
Haute
what I
Oh,
Folies.
yeah.
That one.
Yeah, I know that one.
They changed their name to Haute Folies because they were taken out by a bigger school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but look, they still arrive.
Yeah. So during that training, then they kind of sent you to the south of France. Then you were in a Michelin star restaurant down there for a time. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did training into a Michelin star restaurant. I did training around my own area as well. I traveled, so we traveled a bit, being sent into different places and stuff. And I worked in Paris as well one summer, just because I could.
Yeah.
But then we didn't have the social media that we have now, so it was easier to just go and
Disappear.
if you want to learn about something, you have to go there.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you're not gonna go on Google like it is now, and you do have all the platforms that you have now where you can go online. And why am I gonna go over there when I can follow those guys on
Exactly. Yeah.
Instagram and
YouTube
so
has
we
it
had-
all.
we had to get the bugs, and I think fair play to our lectures. They put the bugs in us to go, lads, if you want to learn, the local guys are very good, but you need to go out there and sell yourself, and off you go and see what it's like out there and discover the world for yourself. So,
And did you find, because even when you're starting off in the kitchen, I know from I did it for a few years myself. It's bloody hard work.
it is.
Did you see there was a much difference between working in your local restaurants in Laval compared to this place that had a Michelin star, or is it the same kind of thing? It's the same kind of.
I know you go up in calibers, like obviously the demands is much higher from the guest. Even here, look, I've worked in 3 Michelin star. I've worked in 3-star hotels, 5-star hotels. I've worked in restaurants. The demands is different from the customers that you get.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the work is going to be harder, obviously. But the experience is different. In the local restaurant, or working for the local guys, I'm going home at night.
Yeah.
And when I was in the south of France, you're going home if you want into the staff accommodation with another 25 guys, and
Yeah.
you're all sharing a dorm, and that's a
yeah.
different life,
Yeah.
But it's good crack. Like when one decide to go out and you go, I'm tired. No, 25 are going out. That's it. You're not going to sleep in your car now because at 5 o'clock in the morning, when everybody go back,
Yeah.
you're going to be awake
Morning
anyway.
shouting,
So,
yeah.
yeah, look, they're different experience, and they're the ones that build your characters and builds, you know, who you're going to be in the future. I think it's quite important. Yeah.
So how come you? What was the initial? What was the initial reason for leaving France then?
I had the travel bug. I wanted to go.
Yeah.
You know, where did you go? So funny, we had the conversation when we went back. I went back to France in the summer, so like, oh, you remember how you went to Ireland? It's like, yeah, back in the days. So we had a mini argument of, was there a computer in the house at the time? You know, look, it was 2000, yeah.
Yeah.
So that was 23 years ago. I've been here 23 year pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
It was like, was there a computer in the house? Yes, there was a computer in the house. And remember, the dial-up. The dial-up phones.
Yeah, there was a computer
You
here.
know?
We all remember that computer.
We
was
did,
one
yeah.
computer.
And the bzzzt and all the digits. But look.
The one computer in Ireland. We remember it. In the year 2000. We all watched the countdown on the telly.
Is it going to bug?
Yeah. And that bug never actually happened.
Never.
The Millennium Bug.
Oh yeah, the planes were going to fall from the sky at one stage, isn't it?
Yeah, that said the satellites are going to fall out of the sky.
Jesus Christ.
But look, no, I dialed up on the internet. Look, I put my CV up. There was a few websites at the time. There was a few offers, even in far away Switzerland and stuff. And I was like, you know what? I need to improve my English if I wanted to go travel further.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, oh, there's a French guy in Ireland. He's like, oh, why don't you come and try? Like, so Ireland is what, an hour and a half in the plane? Pack the bag, let's go. So yeah, over the space of a week, I got my results for my exams. I got my driving test, and I got my plane tickets. And see you later, guys. I've got everything I need.
Yeah.
And 23 years on, there you go. Now I moved over to the other side. I was in Beristan when I first arrived.
All right, okay, you're over there.
Yeah, just above Dublin.
Yeah.
Under Drogheda. So I still have very good friends from there.
You were there for long?
I was there for a year, nearly 2 years. Yeah, it was 2 summers anyway.
Yeah.
And then I moved away. I took a train ticket to the next place, and that was Galway.
Yes.
So there you go.
Oh,
I
wow.
arrived in Galway. I can't say the rest was history because I moved around a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
Obviously I met Aidan, and then went down to Limerick and spent
Were
a
you
bit of time in Limerick.
Were you living in Limerick as well
I
for
did,
a time? Yeah.
Yeah, we did because Aidan was finishing studying in university. So we stayed in Limerick for a while. We went to France. While she was in Erasmus in France, one of my old manager was setting up his restaurant about 2 hours away. So I said, okay, I'll come down, I'll give you a hand.
Perfect.
So I did 6 months Erasmus.
Yeah. Back home
in the east of France. Discover something new, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, that's grand.
And then we came back to Ireland. Yeah. Then did another spell in Ireland for a bit, Achill, Dublin. Worked in a restaurant in Dublin.
I think that's where I met you the first time in Achill, actually. I think.
Yeah. Possibly, yeah.
In that fucking house.
I think I brought everybody that was in Galway to Achill for the summer.
Yeah, Jesus, it was in the arse end of nowhere actually as well. It was Jesus. It was just like this little tiny shed that you were all kind of.
Jill was with us.
Yeah.
For summer as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, good crack. And then we moved to Dublin. In Dublin, that's when we decided to travel the world. So we went to Australia. We went around the world, traveled Southeast Asia and stuff. And when we were in Australia, we were like, what do we do? Where do we go back?
Yeah.
It's like, well, all the lads are in Galway. So let's go back and see the lads. We'll figure it out after. And then, you are 15 years on and we're still in Galway. So
yeah,
there you go.
And was there any place when you were traveling around the world, which cuisine kind of sparked your interest the most?
It was funny because we went to India and we discovered something really, really new where I wasn't really eating spicy.
Yeah.
I wasn't really going towards spices, but my tolerance grew for spices.
Mm-hmm.
And when you travel there, it was very much spices weren't spicy, if you know what I mean. It was discovering spices to a different level. You're discovering spices, but it's not heat. It's just different flavors. Yeah.
Yeah.
So your palate just develops as you're traveling along. And we traveled, for a month in India, and we went up and down, and we discovered different cuisine, different spices, and different level of spiciness also. And then we went to Southeast Asia, where you discover different flavor, but also different level of spices.
Yeah.
Thailand is really, really spicy.
Oh yeah.
We got caught a few times, and it was funny.
Did you? Yeah.
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 I'm sure you will. Like.
Yeah.
Oh, that looks really, really nice. I'm gonna have the weird stuff that goes there. And yeah, that's gonna burn
Yeah. Then
for
you're
a while.
sweating.
Yeah. We were there in fucking April or whatever, and just some meals you get, and you're like, oh, this is fine, and then it's another one, and it's like, oh fuck, I'm in trouble. I can't eat any of this. Yeah, Chloe doesn't have a great tolerance for heat,
No.
but I'm getting there. You're a big spice
I ate
man.
I ate a lot of spicy food.
Yeah.
So I generally sometimes I'll go like a couple months without eating anything, just from what I'm eating at the time.
Yeah.
But your tolerance generally stays okay. I think as long as you're eating spice food every couple of months, I think you're fine.
Yeah.
But I thoroughly enjoy it. Like
Yeah.
I think I developed the tolerance for spices, which is great because now, as you travel and as you go along, because you're developing the tolerance a bit
Yeah.
more, you kind of get a bit more adventurous into what you want to try as well.
Yeah.
So it's great. And then we got to Australia, and Australia I loved it. It's this amazing country where, especially for a chef, where you have all the climates.
True.
So you're going from tropical food down to,
yeah.
we were in Melbourne mostly based when we worked, and you have, the same product as you get here. So you get a variety that's just incredible. And yeah, you get to develop your skills as well and discover loads of new stuff that you don't have over here. So
Yeah. And then you came back to see the lads in Galway again. So
yeah, that's great. That was great. Yeah, came back to Galway, and look, we're back maybe 15 years, and yeah, now we have kids and we settled, and we live in a little village outside of Galway, when we discovered that we're not in our 20s anymore, and
yeah.
price of houses is crazy, and where are we going to find a house instead of giving our money down to the landlord? So,
Yeah.
And at the time, we bought our house a couple of years back, and it was great, and now we're settled in the country lifestyle.
Yeah.
It's nice.
It's not so bad.
Where's your favorite Supermax in Galway?
Oh, that's a good one. Look, we've all done the Air Square one at 3:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Can't be proud about it, but there's a brand new spanking one out on in Tuam.
Is there?
Oh.
Want to
Ew.
try? It's very
Ooh la
fancy.
la.
Yeah. I like Gort. I think Gort has a great Supermax.
Give my mother
God,
food poisoning.
Did
Yeah.
it? Gort did?
Yeah.
Nah, she's just blaming it on
She
Supermax.
fucking you talk to her sometime, but she was not happy.
I'll have to try the where was it? Tuam?
Yeah, the one in Tuam is very fancy because sure, the Supermax is brand new and they have the petrol station and stuff. And
I'll have to try that one.
Yeah, very fancy. We stopped in the one in Loire as well.
Oh yeah.
Equally fancy at the time.
I think they serve Irish breakfast in that one.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh, it's that
They do
big
soup
kind of
and
plaza
what?
place.
In
Yeah.
fucking Oughterard, they have a kebab. Supermax sell a kebab in Oughterard.
Do they? Yeah.
Yep.
I know if
And
you
it's not bad.
I will ask.
I was thoroughly surprised. Looked at the menu. I was like, "There's a fucking kebab, doner kebab." I was like, "Yep, I'm gonna get it," and it's grand. Anyway,
So say since you came back, so that's when you came back to Galway after Melbourne. Say that was probably 15 years ago, would it?
Yeah,
Would you
something
say?
like that. Yeah, I think we came back around 2005, 2006.
And say has the food industry and say has it changed a lot in Galway in those 15 years? Would you say?
Oh, look, massively, yeah.
Yeah.
I think even in the last 23 years that I've been in Ireland, food has changed.
yeah, oh,
You know.
definitely.
And also because people have changed.
Mm-hmm.
People have traveled a lot more. And they wanted a slice of what they find abroad.
Of course,
I
yeah.
think that's what, people traveling is always good. I think Irish people travel a lot.
Mm-hmm.
They do, there is that fear that the kids are going to go away and never come back, but there is also a great amount of people that do come back and come back with ideas and come back with different influence, and they are looking for the same things that they've been traveling to. So I think it's great because that's how society develops, and that's how culture develops, and that's how cuisine develops a lot.
Yeah, absolutely.
You have a lot of good guys in Galway, like you have Jess Murphy and Kais that's from New Zealand. You have the guys in JPS traveled to Spain, came back, made cava. Great story, Ania came along. You have Loams that opened with Enda and Ian. The guys have traveled, came back. They came back with Michelin stars. They created Michelin stars. They have, recognition across the world now. And it's great. But because they came back, they created something, and they also emphasize on the local culture.
Yeah.
Because you can travel away, you can bring back a lot of stuff, but you can't forget about what's here.
Yeah.
I think that's what's important. Even myself being here for so many years, I've discovered a lot more people, a lot more producers that are local, and I think there's so much that's here that we can use.
So would you have any particular favorites, local producers that you would use regularly, say in the G or when you were working maybe in the Glenlow?
Yeah, there is loads of them. Look, we use a lot of there's a lot of cheese suppliers that are local. You have Kylemore Farmhouse, Teresa is over there. She's making great cheeses.
Okay.
They're excellent from cow cheese. You have Larry Maguire who does Galway goat cheese. He started to do cow's milk as well.
Yeah.
I think the story was he was in his farm and he saw his neighbor's cow, and that gave him an idea. We could do cow cheese too.
Yeah, why not?
Gabriel was on the Aran Island that does the tour buses as well, but he has goats and he does goat cheese as well. That's equally amazing. So he developed a feta and parmesan. It's a dry cheese that's similar to the parmesan, but it's made from goat's milk. It's amazing. But he'll take you on a tour if you go down and bring you down to the farm, and it's great. They'll
on the island, is that Inishmore?
Yeah, on the island, Inishmore, yeah.
Inishmore, okay.
Yeah. But he'll also bring you down to his mother-in-law's restaurant.
And what kind of goats does he have? What breed? Do you know?
Oh, I have no idea.
Okay, yeah.
The one with the horns and...
Yeah, no, I know. Yeah,
that goes back.
I'm wondering which are the best breed for milk for cheese.
My mother rang me the last day and she was like, "Oh, my mother is 78, and she was wondering, would you be able to get me up the burn to see wild goats?"
Oh yeah, you're never.
Can you drive around and find them, or do you need to be able to get out?
No, it's a certain time of year they'll come down. When they have when the kids are out.
Yeah.
Generally, you might be able to find them kind of in the lowlands, kind of right down from the mountain, but it's really hard to find those wild goats. They're an old Irish goat breed. I think they're called the Old Irish Goat.
Yeah.
And they're just feral up there. But it's if you want to find them, you're not going to find them.
I've come across them once up Mullaghmore.
Yeah.
But there's no way you're getting my 78-year-old mother up those hills. So.
No. But sure, if I'm driving around next time I see him, I'll let you know.
Drop a pin.
Yeah.
There is seaweed out on the Aran Island.
Seaweed, yeah.
Yeah, there is loads of farmers that produce excellent vegetables, especially around Galway.
Island Eddy potatoes. Have you tried them?
Yeah.
Ooh, they're lovely.
There's a few spuds. My GM actually has a farm, so...
Oh, right.
Yeah, he does potatoes too.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, loves the potatoes. And who else do you have? Look, you have loads of local guys. I even worked with a forager that's based in Clare.
Yeah.
Brings all the stuff from the seashore to the woods. Excellent stuff.
Yeah, we had a guy on last week, Owen Higgins, and he brought us out and he said, it's prime mushroom season now, so he brought some chanterelles that he picked in Oughterard. And is that... It's something that's probably more popular now and in high-end food. That is something that people used to do probably a lot more common probably 70, 80 years ago. Has that become back in vogue now?
Even more. Look, we all started as being hunter-gatherer.
Yeah.
So it's all in our genes.
Yeah, of
It's
course.
just that we forgot about it.
Mhm.
Most of us forgot about it. And then, is there a trend at the moment with forage stuff? Yes, there is a big trend.
Okay.
But look, it's always been there.
Yeah.
I've been using Forager and we forage myself for the last maybe 10 years or so.
Yeah.
So it's not new when you know about it.
Yeah.
Is it a bigger trend because
It's kind of sexy now or whatever.
yeah, it's sexy, but you know what also is everything is gone so much more expensive
Mm-hmm.
that there is food that's for free. And there is, if I talk to our forager, Edward, he tells us that because they've been foraging in few places, you can see the growth. So because you're cutting and you're taking stuff and you're looking after the patches have developed.
Oh, that's
So
great.
because you're not letting it die and it doesn't go anywhere, and because you're cutting it, because you're using it,
Yeah.
it grows more. So you're developing all those types of areas. So now he's able to supply me with, say, sandworth is one of the sea vegetables. He has been able to supply me all summer. That before it would have died in July,
Yeah.
but now it's only starting to die now in.
So what you
by the
say,
end of September.
Sandworth?
Sandworth, yeah.
Yeah,
it's-
and what would that be akin to? When you say it's a vegetable?
It's a sea vegetable, so similar. It's a leaf.
Is
It's
it
a
like
green leaf.
samphire?
Yeah,
Is
if
it
you
similar?
want, yeah, similar enough.
Yeah.
Not the same flavor, obviously, but
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah.
samphire would be sea vegetable. So you have different ones. You have sea fennel, you have sea beets. Sea beets are leaves. They're
Okay.
growing quite well now.
Yeah.
They're very much in season now. You have sea radishes. If you were to go to the seashore, you'll probably see them and pass by them.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah.
Until
What does a
somebody
sea
tells
radish
you,
look like?
You know you can eat that. It's savage. If you only knew. But it's funny. One of the guys who used to forage quite a lot when I was in the lodge, and he used to go, "Come on, we go foraging," and you'll pass by. You're like, "Do you not see?" It's like, "Oh yeah." And then you start eating. It's like, "Oh, this is delicious." Like, yeah.
Yeah.
We've passed by at least 15 times and you
Jeez.
still haven't seen it. But yeah, you need a keen eye on it as well. And you need to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I would say especially with mushrooms.
Mhm.
You have deadly mushrooms out there. So don't go and pick.
Oh yeah.
If I
you
have
need-
one advice, is don't go and pick anything that you don't know.
You need to go out with the mycologist or someone who
Yes.
knows exactly what they're doing.
Exactly. You have the likes of Baliora mushroom. They are doing foraging event.
Oh,
And
okay.
they take you out and they take you out in the woods down in Limerick, actually, in the Galties.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I think he's doing 3 events in October, and you can go and learn.
Oh,
So you
nice.
go
Oh,
with
that sounds good.
one of the
actually.
best.
Yeah.
Somebody that goes out every single day of the year foraging mushroom. So you pay your tickets, you go, you forage with them. I think it takes groups of like 10 or 15 people.
Oh, nice.
And you can literally take your bag and you can go forage
Yeah.
and actually learn as you go along. He'll show you the deadly ones too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do not
Oh, I
pick
know a
this
few
one.
deadly ones.
Yeah.
There's one type of mushroom that I know exactly what it is, and it's grand. I can pick it at any time. You know, I have no problem identifying it. Is what I mean.
Yeah.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. What's called? Would you say? So you worked in the Ardlawn. You worked out in Cong. You worked in Glenlow, and now you're in the G. Has your food philosophy changed a lot in those time? Did you have a particular one now that you're kind of you've defined over these years? Or?
Yeah. Look, I always change, but because you evolve, I think, with the people that you meet all the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably the oldest person in my kitchen at the moment.
You're not even that old. Like.
I'm not even that old, no.
Yeah.
But you know, like you're trying to bring people along with you as well, and you bring people of different cultures. So I have a good few Italians at the moment, but I have a new sous chefs my last 2 sous chefs are Irish. They're Galway based, and the last Jérôme is from Galway. So, and my junior sous chef is from Italy. So we have a nice sit down, and you
Yeah.
can talk about food, and food is different, and they've both traveled. So, you know, you change, you evolve, and your menu change. But the one thing that I insist is we use local produce.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we use those local suppliers we've talked about. We use the forager. The guys are learning because they didn't really use foragers before until I came.
Yeah.
So now they are discovering new products. It's different and it's new and it's, what do we do with this? And
Yeah.
so now we've been pickling and preserving all summer. So we're creating a new menu now for the winter.
Ah, that's wonderful.
We're using, ramsons. There's the caper berries from wild garlic that you get in May and June.
Yeah.
So we'll be able to use them for the winter. We got wild plums at the end of August that we've preserved for the winter menu. So, you're discovering new products and it's interesting and you involve all the young chefs that are starting as well. So it's great.
And when you're developing a menu, how long is that process? Is that like that? Are you developing a menu?
I would imagine it's ongoing, isn't it?
It's ongoing. Like, it's funny because you think when there is a new menu that come in the restaurant, it's exciting and it's a new menu and it's great. I'm like, when the menu is written, it's actually going live. I'm like, right, I'm bored. I've worked on this for a month.
Really?
I'm sick of it already. What's next? Let's talk about something new because, it will be exciting because the customers are trying it and, it's exciting for the customer. So you're excited because you're making them discover what you worked on for, a month for your developing recipe over. Sometimes we talk about a recipe and then, or we talk about a dish and we're not happy about it. So it's not going to go. It's not going to go on the menu. But we're going to put it in the next menu and because you walk around it and you're just not happy and it goes away. The idea goes away and then eventually you talk about it and go, you remember what you talked about the last time? Yeah, I think I find that idea and that could work. And there is idea as well where you go in the pub across the road and you might write the menu overnight. You know why? Because alcohol let loose and the ideas are flying and all of a sudden you're taking notes in the pub and you sit down the next day and go, hey, those ideas are actually quite good. So
Right drunk, edit sober.
Yeah, you have people who dreams and sit down and they have a page of paper beside the bed and a pen.
True.
Yeah, we do it in front of a pint and it's as good sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
I know you've done a bit of media in your day as well. So you've been on the radio and you've been on TV too. How do you find that kind of side of things?
It's interesting. It's not something that I've probably ever imagined I would do. Yeah. Didn't really regard TV chef as being great inspiration in some of the programs that you see. Yeah. I don't think they depict some of the programs that are on TV. I don't think depict what
reality of a kitchen. Maybe.
Exactly what the life in the industries, and I don't think they make any great effort to help the industry.
Really? Okay.
No, look, there is a few programs, don't get me wrong, that are very good.
Yeah.
Like the great British menu and stuff like this. They bring excellent chefs to the table and they show you what they can do and stuff, and it's an amazing program. But then you've got the likes of MasterChef that, look, it's nice to watch at the TV if you have nothing else to watch, but it doesn't bring what it is to be in a kitchen, How many people that I came out of MasterChefs that have actually done something in the industry?
Yeah.
I don't think you can count them on more than one hand, probably.
It's easier to cook one dish once for 3 people than it is.
Waking up at 5 o'clock in the morning, going to work and actually working the whole day. Yeah. And then doing the same thing the next day. It's something else.
Yes. Yeah.
You need to have the passion for it and you need to...
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. You need to be a little bit crazy, really, to be honest with you. Because I remember some of the chefs I worked with, they actually either burnt out completely or, it was, as you said, a vocation. Yeah. And, 10 years, 20 years later, they're even better than they were. So it's peaks or troughs. Like.
Yeah, no, it's true. Look, there is a lot of us that have burnt out. There is COVID, I think, made us realize as well, for a lot of the guys that have been out there, that there is a life outside the kitchen. And, and it's nice, and you do have a family, and it's good to be connecting with people in another way. And it is okay to sit down outside in the sun and enjoy your pint with the lads, at a reasonable distance at the time, for sure. But and I think a lot of us as well have developed this conscious of, you know what, you do need to look after yourself. It's no, how do you say it? There is no big hidings that in our industry we do develop loads of bad habits.
Yeah.
Maybe drugs, alcohol, smoking, gambling, whatever it is. It's there. It's not a myth. It's there for everyone. You know. But we all look after each other as well. There is a great bond that you form into a kitchen where if somebody's struggling, there is always somebody there that's there to help you and that have been through those past experience and that will help you. And I think you might not have this in all of the way of life, probably, and also jobs. But look, you do take a step back sometimes, like we did in COVID, and go, you know what, we do need to look after ourselves and we do need to look after the stuff maybe a little bit better as well. And I think it's changing in the industry, and that's why there is a lot less people who wants to go into these jobs. But I have a lot of young chefs in my kitchen.
That's great.
And some started as kitchen porters, and we try to get them to develop to understand that, yes, you are very eager. Yes, you are only 18 years old and you can do 50 million hours a week and you're not going to be tired. But trust me when I say I am over 40 and it doesn't last. So enjoy while you can, but do pace yourself. Do understand that there is a life outside of the work.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
You will, find the time to open a book sometimes, go to the cinema, go for a pint with the lads, and, take your time. Work is work, but there is more outside, and you will still learn if you do 8 hours or, sometimes 10 hours, but look, it's there, and stay eager.
Stay eager.
Learn something else too.
Definitely. True. Always stay eager.
Always.
So you're with the G now over a year, probably heading in for 2 years. So is there any kind of big plans? I know you were doing kind of like a supper club thing there for a while. I don't know, are you still doing those kind of events?
Yeah, we did those events. They were amazing. I'd like to bring them back. Now, we've been busy in the summer, and you realize those events in the summer are maybe not suited as well as you would to. So maybe in the winter we had a few staffs that left as well, so it made organizing those events a little bit more difficult. So it's something to look back at for next year. I think I'd like to do one before the end of the year if possible. But we'll see. We have a great team now, and there is a few elements in the teams that have been added recently, so looking at projects like this makes everybody more eager and more creative as well, which is great. For the kitchens, they were amazing events.
Yeah.
We went bananas. What can we do? Let's go outside. All the guys, no, I don't want to go outside. No, you'll see, it's great. Go see the critics and meet them.
Yeah.
And then from the first event where the guys didn't really want to go outside, the third event we actually plated the dessert at the table.
Oh wow.
So we went a bit bananas and created the dessert on the table, which was amazing. And
that's great.
You evolve, always. So maybe the next one. There was a big project for the last one, but it didn't happen. Thank God, I think.
Okay, yeah.
We went a bit OTT on this one.
Was that the foraging?
That was the foraging and hunting.
Yeah.
It may still go ahead, but there was some crazy ideas going on there.
We'll slaughter it right in front of you.
We want to fire off. We were like, can we get dead animals and and
apocalypse now style.
Stuffed animals maybe in the created banquets. That could be real, and look, there's always ideas.
Yeah, I'm like, will you say the way bloody prices have gone up for everybody now?
Yeah.
So does that put the kitchen under pressure? I suppose all your produce, all the prices for everything has gone up too.
Everybody can feel it. We all have families. If we don't, we all go out there and try to eat out every now and then. Or you go to the supermarkets and you can see that everything is gone up. For the restaurants, the VAT has gone up by 4.5%.
Oh wow.
Yeah, we went from 9% VAT on the 1st of September to 13.5%. We feel the pinch. the customer will feel it because that's not something that we can absorb.
Yeah.
Obviously, over the past year or two, with Brexit and everything else that's going on, with the war in Ukraine, prices have gone sky high. A lot of restaurants and hotel, as much as we could, we tried to absorb some of the price because we felt that it was hard on everyone, but there is only so much you can absorb.
Of course, yeah.
And a 4.5% hike on tax, that's not something that you can absorb that easily,
Yeah.
So prices have gone up. Now, back to the foraging, we do try to be smart in the kitchen and try to find how can we make it more affordable for people to go out.
Yeah.
So we look at, cheaper cuts of meat, in beef, cheaper cuts of, easier stuff out there that people don't use. Easier stuff that's more widely available. You're more season conscious, I think, as well, where it's like, okay, what's really in season,
Of course,
that we can get cheaper because it's in season. So we're trying to work really diligently with like the season and try to make it more affordable to it and try to bring down the cost. If we bring down our cost, then we're able to try to pass on the prices to the customers, but then we have to try to pay our staff as well.
Of course,
I put on my chef hat there. That chef hat, it's more expensive for everyone to live on, but it's also more expensive for our staff to live on.
Yes.
So we have to pay the guys a little bit more than what we were able to pay. Like, not to give any numbers, but say a chef de partie, we are paying, even as far as 3 years ago, we are paying them now maybe 5,000 to 7,000 euro more a year.
Wow.
In the last 3 years. But that's because, life is more expensive. There was a lot less staff after COVID.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Of course, yeah.
And, the industry is known for not paying really, really well, but because if you start to pay a lot more money, you have to find the money somewhere.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, it sounds like you look after your staff, though, and it's a good kitchen to work in. So, because that doesn't happen in every facet of life where your employer is going to look after you to that degree, like so.
Yeah, look, I have good employers, and I think they understand, and we all very realistic of what needs to happen and what we need to do for our guys. So, yeah, I'm looking that way. I try to have a very good atmosphere in the kitchen and with the restaurant as well. So, because the better the atmosphere, it's the same everywhere.
Yeah.
If the guy get on well between the kitchen and the restaurant, and there is a good atmosphere and you have a good environment, you're gonna feel it as a customer when you sit down. If you wait an extra 5-10 minutes for something, but you can see that the atmosphere is nice and the waiters are smiling at you and the food that's coming was maybe a bit slow but is very good, and you can see that there is effort that's put in, you have no problem paying price either. I don't mind waiting an extra 10 minutes, and I know it's cooked and somebody took the care that they needed to take and didn't shove it in the microwave somewhere because this lad over there needs it now.
Because it does happen.
Not in my kitchen. No, there actually is no microwave in the kitchen. We got rid of it. So
one last question. What would be the dish that you're most proud of that you've created?
It's a question everybody asks.
Is it? Yeah.
Yeah. Look, you meet a chef. What's your favorite dish?
Yeah.
What do you love to cook? Look, I don't know. It's still a hard question after so many years.
Yeah.
I love to cook fish. But I love to cook with like all the forage products that we use because they're always in season. You are talking about mushroom. I love mushrooms. Girolles are in full season now. I think it's one of my favorite mushroom.
Yeah.
That and End of the Woods. It's really, really nice. Even as
I'd love to
simple
try
as
Hen of the Woods. Yeah, I've never had any. I'd love to try it though.
Amazing. The flavors are just unreal. But look, even a simple omelette with a couple of really nice mushroom in it, out of this world.
Yeah.
But then again, a nice piece of turbot that's cooked on the bone or even pan fried is just equally as good. Yeah. Fish. I love fish.
Perfect. Dom, thank you so much.
Thanks a million.
Really appreciate it.
Loved it.
Thanks everybody for listening. And all right, that's it.
All right. See you later.